Hello out there. This is gonna hopefully be a quick little overview and review of the RCBS Ingot Mold. It's for approximately 1 pound ingots for lead. It is the 80005. Currently on Midway USA, this thing's selling for like 18 bucks. RCBS usually sells it for like 26, I believe it is. But yeah, so if you want to get it, now's a good time. I just wanted to give you an example of before I bought the ingot mold, what I used to make little ingots. Because I just don't like keeping the lead inside of my smelter when I'm done using it. I always empty it out so I can clean it out and everything. But what I used to use is these little muffin molds. Very cheap. I bought these, I think, from like Goodwill or something like that. I think I got like 2 of them for like $1. They work really well if you don't want to spend any money on ingot mold, but just make sure you warm them up and possibly lube them before you fill them up, or else the lead is going to get stuck in there. And one of these I had to break open because I didn't know what I was doing. So just keep that in mind. So you could use one of these. But I upgraded and I got this little guy. This is the actual RCBS ingot mold. It's solid cast iron. It's really not that big. It's like I don't know, like 7 inches by like 4 maybe. One gripe is that it doesn't have a handle. I mean it kind of helps. So when I set this on top of my smelter to warm it up, like there's no handle to like get in the way or anything, but it sucks when you need to like flip it over and stuff. So all I use is a pair of vice grips, and I always put it upside down. I grip it and it doesn't go anywhere. You got to make sure it's tight though, because you know lead gets heavy. But the only other gripe besides the handle thing is in between the letters. Man, I have really bad lighting right here. As you can see, there's some lead that gets stuck in between the letters. So when you take the ingot out, one of 2 things happens. Either it kind of breaks the lead off, or the whole mold kind of gets stuck in there. So when you flip it over to, you know, break them, it takes a good amount of force. So just keep that in mind. That's why you got to make sure you heat this thing up really nice and good before you start pouring. Because what I did to ready this thing, I took the oven that I used to do the powder coats. I actually stuck it in there for I think 20 minutes, like 400 degrees, and then I took it out, and then within 10 minutes I started doing my first pours, and it worked pretty darn well. So that's what I recommend. And just to give you a little size comparison, I brought out a couple of the molds I made. Let's see, it was this one right here. You could tell that it has some breaks in between the letters. That's just an example of why the lettering kind of sucks with the cast iron, but it is what it is. But overall, they're nice and small because they melt pretty fast once you need to remelt them. And I'll give you a little size here. Take one of them. Just the tippy top is just over an inch. I know my lighting's horrible right now. And for the long side, it's 2.66. Then on the big side, let me clear it, we have 3 inches and 1.43, so almost 1.5. And for size comparison, here is a 45 and here is a 38. Zoom in for you, just so you can see the size difference. It's not much. So these really are nice small ingots. Then again, my favorite part is when you put them in to melt them. They melt pretty darn quick. They're not too big and heavy. You know, they're not awkward. They just make really nice ingots to stick right inside of your already really hot molten lead. So I recommend it. If y'all have any questions, please feel free to let me know. Thanks.